Please don't get me wrong in this video, I love Tears of the Kingdom. It's the only Zelda game that I've ever played to completion and is just such a fun time to go through. I haven't really played many open world games before, but Tears of the Kingdom definitely contests Skyrim for being my favorite open world game of all time. And I think the internet is pretty much in agreement with me on that because, you know, the game has just been showered with praise and I feel like there's not much I could say that hasn't been said before about it. So instead, I'm gonna get a little nitpicky here and talk about the one thing that I think Tears of the Kingdom really falls short on. So without any further ado, let's talk about filler content. By definition, filler content is just content that is put into the game for the sake of filling up space. It doesn't necessarily give the player any, depth or story or even just a fun time. It's just there to make the game bigger. Whenever a game throws something at you that you've already seen before without changing anything about it, or at least changing very little about it, that's filler content. It can take many different forms, but you can find it in almost every game. Sometimes it takes the form of stuff like the collectibles you can get in Titanfall 2 or Halo that make you replay the missions in order to find them, or it can just be the repetitive having to fight what feels like the same fight over and over again in stuff like Doom or Metal Hellsinger. Now, do not get me wrong here, filler content is not a bad thing. I mean, think about how poorly paced a Halo mission would be if every single fight you did introduced a brand new game mechanic to you. Especially in open world games, the entire world would just feel barren and desolate if there was no filler content to take it up, unless the devs want to create something brand new for every single little spot, which, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be waiting even longer for Elder Scrolls 6. You can see these massive maps on the screen, and these need something to fill them up, so filler content is just the best bet for that. However, there's a right and a wrong way to do filler content, and I'd like to argue that Tears of the Kingdom did filler content right. Kinda. See, the stuff that you first think of when I say filler content in Tears of the Kingdom, I think it's all fine. I mean, the combat's fun, the side quests are fine, and I know some of you who 100%ed Breath of the Wild are tired of Koroks, but I didn't even finish it, so I'm fine with them. No, the problem with Tears of the Kingdom's filler content is not the quality, because that is all great. The problem is how much of it there is, because there is just so much filler content. You might not think so at first when you're just thinking about stuff like the side quests or the Koroks or etc. But let me propose one major aspect of the game to you that is just almost completely filler content. That's right. The depths are all filler. Don't believe me? Let's play a little game here. In this image, where is Link standing? Not exactly on the map, but just in general, what area is he in? Did you guess Farron? If so, well done. Pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, these trees are just completely unique to Farron, right? Alright, how about this image? The fact that you're in a wide open snowy field here makes it pretty obvious that this is Hebra, or more specifically, Tabantha. Another one? Man, I'm just making this too easy for you at this point. The only desert in the game is in Gerudo. Alright, last one. Man, even inside a cave here you can tell that this is an Eldin because of those red rocks that are unique to Eldin. Alright, hopefully you got 4 out of 4 on that. I mean, pretty easy, right? Alright, now let's do the same game, except this time in the depths. Where is Link here, just in general? Yeah, say a region. Any idea? Okay, how about this one? Got any clues here? What about this one? Anything at all? We got any answers here? Alright, last one. Okay, this one's pretty obvious, fiery stuff makes obvious we're under Eldin. So how'd you do that time? Did you only get 1 out of 4? Why is it that I can show you pictures of almost anywhere in Hyrule and you'll be able to instantly tell where it is, in general at least, but then I show you pictures of the exact same regions in the depths, and yes, those are pictures taken one on top of the other, and you might be able to get 1 out of 4 of them if I'm generous and give you Eldin as one. The problem here is that the entirety of the depths is literally just a copy-paste. I mean, I'm sure you've heard so many people praise this idea of taking the main area of Hyrule and just flipping it to create a whole new sub-area, for the idea being so unique and special. And sure, while the idea itself might be unique, just take a look at the map of the depths. What about it is unique? I mean, sure, they're like the mines and stuff, and, finding your first one is cool, but then the rest are all the exact same as each other. Like, there's nothing that makes this mine on screen any more special than any of the other ones. You probably can't even tell them apart, and their rewards are all the same, either a piece of special armor or a crystallized charge. And sure, they're like the greater mines and stuff, but I mean, can you even tell which one this is? They're all the same too. Almost every single thing that could be considered special in the depths is just once again copy-pasted everywhere else. I mean, there are a couple exceptions, like the temples, or the Bloopy Burrow, or the observation deck, which... Wait, why is there an observation deck in the depths? Like, what are they going to be overlooking? Wait, it's over a mine? Wait, but besides those, there's not really anything in the depths that makes it feel special. I've gotten bored of it because I can go through everything, but I'll know exactly what I'm going to run into. It's either going to be the same mines that I've seen before, or it's going to be just the inverted terrain that I've already seen above the surface. So it's just not very helpful, I feel like. I mean, yes, the idea of the inverted terrain is cool and all, but it gets old after a little bit, doesn't it? I think that's why the Construct Factory is my favorite place in the entirety of the depths, because it's special, it's different. I mean, look at it on the map. Its terrain looks nothing like the terrain above, and that makes it different, that makes it special, that makes it unique. It breaks the monotony that I've been feeling with the rest of the depths and gives me something special to play through. Not to mention, it had some of the best puzzles in the entire game. If only the rest of the depths had something to tell each area apart from another, like the overworld does, where, you go to Farron and you can tell the trees apart from all the other trees in the world, or you go to the desert and you can tell that you're actually in a desert. If only we had something like that in the depths, and not just the same terrain and visuals throughout the entire thing. As I said, there's a right and a wrong way to do filler content, and this would have been the right way if it were on a smaller scale. But it's not on a smaller scale, and I'm not saying I want it to be. This is amazing that we have a whole nother world underneath the main area. It's just that if you're gonna do something that big, you gotta make sure that the different areas feel special, and the different content inside, because keep in mind, while you're going through all this different plain, boring depths, you're not even finding anything special. You're just finding the same mines, the same bosses, the same loot, etc. If there had just been a little more detail in the depths, I feel like, and I didn't feel like I was doing the exact same thing over and over again, it would have felt less like filler content and more like a legitimately enjoyable experience. And when it was new and I was just going down into it, of course it was then, but after a little bit, it got old. I find this problem to be mostly in the depths, but not completely. I feel like it also kind of applies to the Sky Islands sometimes. I mean, those definitely feel more unique and you can see the world below you and all, but at the same time, like, how many times have you seen this exact same island? This game was legitimately so much fun, and I enjoy it so much, and I'm glad the internet does as well, because if I'm being honest, when I saw trailers and stuff, I thought it was gonna flop, because it seemed very gimmicky, Ultra Hand infused and stuff. And I enjoy gimmicky mechanics, but I feel like the internet usually doesn't. I'm glad that I'm the only one who I've seen talk about this specific issue, but at the same time I'm a bit surprised about it, but we take that. It's a great game, I enjoy it, just not quite perfect, of course.